Excuse me, sir, we have a ripper down. Excuse me, we have a ripper down. The ripper is down. Uh, we have a ripper down in aisle 5. A ripper is down in aisle 5. What's up, everybody? Shout out to Josie. What's up, Uncle Edwin Jimenez? What's up, Uncle Edwin? A ripper is down in aisle 5, please. SV boy. Dom did a great stream on the Justice Tech Pros podcast. The link's in the description in the bottom. And the We Push Back YouTube channel. Shit, I forgot to put the website in there. I will do that after this. Say what's hi to the chat. We're going to listen to Dom's episode right here, and then we'll talk a little. Brooklyn, what's up, man? Phil, Craig, what's up, everybody? We have a ripper down in aisle 5. Aisle 5. We have a ripper down. Yes, there's some. He went full Travis. Started stalking the chicks, and he's gone. Ripper down. Ripper down. What's up, Assassino? Joffrey 2024. Vote Joffrey Baratheon, even though he's really a Lannister. Yes, folks. He's a Lannister. Roscoe Mudgy, what's up? Shy Hooker, what's up, bro? A real soldier, what's going on? Yeah, it's still stolen valor, though. I don't care. Just because you were in boot camp for a week, it doesn't match up with your story. Stolen valor, all the way, all the way, all the way. Hold on a second, let's fix this thing. Yeah, Assassino, you got to sing it. BK, what's up, dude? Yanks for life, what's up? I guess Schmiegel's been telling a lot of lies lately, too. Little Schmiegs telling a lies. Just JTP lays it down good in this. He takes some shots at these channels that platform these scumbags, too. What's up, Trump's next wife? What's up? I love that King Corso. Co-Train, what's up, brother? Beers and Cigars, what's going on? We're going to watch JTP's episode, and then we'll talk a little about Ripper Down, aisle 5. We have a Ripper Down. What's up, Aegon? Thanks for your service. Shy Hooker. All right, let's listen to Dom over here. Make some great points in this.
Pros podcast, but I'm probably going to add a lot of my own opinion. I'll insert that a few times. And also, to be honest, I like the studio, so I wanted to relax in the studio a little bit. And
studio looks
I get utilize
different
because I only use
like Don
it for the one teaser clip.
She is back.
To dive in, I've done an episode.
I think he's got a shrink sofa. Look, it's real set up pretty cool in his office. I like it. Where's Emily?
In the past about lying informants and their enablers and how I feel about all that. But I wanted to dive in a little bit more on that. I wanted to dive into how somewhat of what some of these hosts who host these lying informants do. It's very contradictory.
It is. They're all contradictory.
You know, they'll say certain things and it just contradicts what they're putting out there. And sometimes I got to ask myself, am I the only person who sees this? But then I'll talk to my real friends in real life and family members and things like that, and people who have been impacted by lying informants, and they're on the same page as me. So I know I'm not nuts with certain things. Just with YouTube, you got to second guess yourself sometimes and remind yourself, or I should say check in on yourself now and again to make sure you're not going down the rabbit hole of lunacy, which tends to exist on social media, specifically on YouTube. So I wanted to kind of just explore that a little bit and give my feelings, maybe some other topics too I'm going to dive into. Since
he doesn't say nobody specifically, but I believe he's talking about Tipsy Tom and guys like Paps. Listen.
A chat session. But initially I wanted to talk about that. And what kind of made me want to talk about that is recently, which is no news to anybody who feels a certain way about these lying informants or has been following them or has been following We Push Back, all the different examples that I put out, whereas they're just lying time and again. I always think of that Mikey Scars. I put up a Mikey Scars testimony from one of his cross examinations because so many people tend to come on here and say, "Well, I don't think he's lying." Well, one of the defense attorney proved his lying on his cross, and that's on the We Push Back website. And there's countless other.
Yeah, go check that out on the We Push Back website. Mikey Scares, that big chooch. No excuses. He looks like Gary fucking Shandling. Gary Shandling, no excuses, but he gives a whole shitload of excuses.
Citations regarding that informant being a liar. Again, when you talk to people that were affected, they have a much different opinion than people on the internet who just want to say, "Oh, I don't think he's lying," where they just judge it by how he presents himself, as opposed to.
Well, it's because Scares is fighting with that child killer Schmiegel, that little fucking hairless cat Schmiegel macking me. I sell drugs with my children, yeah, and I extort retards like Jimmy Calamandria.
Actually. Vetting that and seeing if that statement is true. And little by little, as I go through different informants, I really haven't found one yet that hasn't been caught in a lie. So I wanted to dive into one of the episodes my office captured recently had to do with that lying informant, Sammy Gravano. And, people were saying that he made a comment along the lines where he confessed to a murder, but he said he didn't tell the government about that. And I know knee-jerk reaction from the public, which I would understand, is that they're asking themselves, well, how could this guy admit to a crime on a public format that he didn't disclose to the government? Shouldn't that have been on his deal? Shouldn't that have been part of his 302s and whatnot? And isn't that a problem? Well, morally, yes, I agree. It is a problem. And the key to that is that happens way often. It's been happening a lot. It happens with a lot of the current informants where they'll say things differently than what they may. It seems like almost they use that as a badge. I noticed they'll try to say, "Oh, well, I didn't tell the government about this." It seems somewhat of like a flex, I guess, an informant flex, where they're trying to act like they got one over on the government, or they're trying to impress their viewers. For whatever reason, several of them actually throw that around where they'll say, "Oh, I never told the government this." Now, here's the thing. To say it is one thing publicly in an entertainment setting, because it could be just shoot away like he's just boasting. But the key here is, folks, to make it matter, it really boils down to the defense teams, the family members, friends of those who may have been impacted by a specific line.
Yeah, they have to be watching these informants channels and stuff and pick up the lies and the double talk so it can help them in court.
Let me explain on that. What I mean is a lot of these guys come on, they'll tell stories, they'll say things. Now, normally the general public obviously doesn't know if he already said that, if he disclosed that to the government, if it's part of his 302s.
What's up, Con?
The people who will know are the ones that are vested, usually the defense team, family, friends. And what has to happen is if an informant makes some kind of disclosure along those lines where they're giving out information that in the same breath they're saying they never told the government, there's a lot of steps involved to try to explore that, to try to see if it warrants going in front of a judge, try to see if it warrants
it's worth the shot, though. It's worth the shot. So if I was people, and if any of their family members are infected by these rat bastards, check out them on YouTube and see what they say.
Utilized to help defendants that
I see we got SV Boy in the chat. What's up, SV Boy?
Have impacted. The only ones that could really do anything about that are the defense teams of those who were impacted. And usually, let's be honest, folks, I'm not knocking attorneys. I know a lot of great attorneys, but it's like anything else. It's an occupation. So they're not vested for the rest of their life. The majority of them don't follow these podcasts, don't really see what's going on because they're not vested. They may have finished their case with the client. They may have finished the relationship. So it's really not in their realm anymore. And that's where those who care about the defendant impacted come into play. It's those individuals who then have to grab those captures and reach out to the defense team and say, "Listen, this guy disclosed this. Is it worth pursuing?"
Yeah,
and what happens is you have to then take that statement and go through the discovery. And part of the discovery would be the 302 sessions, the
What's up,
briefing
Mobland?
sessions by the government, where they interviewed this informant and they had him disclose all of his misgivings.
Yeah, he's
And on
right.
top of that, you also have to compare it to whatever deal they may
And
have
let's
made. You have to see the word.
those 4 guys are going to be going in front of those appellate judges shortly,
In the deal, is it a
and
blanket
they'll be coming home.
immunity type situation where even if they may have missed something in detail, they're covering it by the wording or the verbiage that they use. They're trying to encompass anything that may have happened. So it's not as easy as an informant saying, well, I never disclosed that to the government, and then people saying, well, he's lying, this could happen, that could happen. And I'm going to be honest, folks, not a lot could happen unless you pursue it, unless the right people pursue it and the right legal team uses it as a tool to get back in front of the judge, to get back in front of the courtroom. There has to be some basis to it. There has to be some meat, for lack of a better term, something that really allows you to get back in front of that judge, something that opens the door. So there's a lot of comparing and contrasting. So when they make these certain disclosures, you have to go back and you have to see, well, is that accurate? Did he really not tell the government? You got to go through the 302s. You got to go through the debriefings. You got to then compare the deal that was made, as I spoke about. And I'll give you a little bit of an example. The informant, John Panisi, made a few disclosures that he never debriefed to, was never part of the 302s, was never part of his testimony. Without getting into too much, because there's still litigation going on the appeal level. It was part of our Rule 33, which I spoke about. And in order to get that in front of the judge, we had to compare it. We had to pull the 302s. We had to compare what he was debriefed on, what he admitted to. We had to pull his testimony. This way we knew what we were saying was valid and accurate. And then you could go in front of the judge. We were able to use the tool of a Rule 33 because you're allowed to use that up to 3 years after the end of trial.
We'll talk about
any newly discovered evidence. You have 3 years after trial's over to bring that to the court's attention. So we were able to use that specifically with the Rule 33 module, I guess you would call it, or I like to say the term tool because it's all different statutes, all different defense weapons that could be used in different ways, but you need obviously an intelligent.
I want JTB's TV. Give me that fucking TV, man.
Defense team to pick and choose what could be used and what makes sense. You can't just throw everything at the court and say, "Oh, I want to,"
No, that's why it's important.
You got to make sure there's a basis for it. You got to go through and watch these. And there's a tool that
watch these stool pigeons channels and pick all that shit out of there.
You could utilize to get your point across. In our case, we used the Rule 33 because it was newly discovered evidence. And once we compared it to the 302s and the debriefings and we saw it never existed, was never mentioned, we were able to use that. So it's kind of like the same situation. You have all these informants on all these podcasts. And what We Push Back does on the YouTube level is very cool and it's entertaining. And I try to put things out there just to make the public think about it. And maybe go to the website and do a little more in-depth research on it.
Listen to what he says.
But it's nothing that's going to change the game, folks. And I knew this from day one. And what I mean by the YouTube side is not going to change the game. That's more of an entertainment platform. It's more to draw people in. What will change the game is utilizing these different things, the right parties grabbing these different things. I've been in contact with several defense teams, and that's really what we talk about. It's not so much about what these individuals are saying. Well, it is. But my point is, they may say something. It's really the strategy in finding out how you could use what they're saying to benefit the client, benefit a loved one, benefit a friend, whatever, whoever the defendant may be. That's really the key. It's brainstorming with your defense team, with your family, with the defendant to see how certain things could be utilized, how certain lies that come into play could be used to perhaps get in front of the court again, have them look at the case in a different way. If you're at a level where you're going for appeal, how to use it for an appeal. There's different ways, but that all requires brainstorming with your defense team. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a great legal mind. My expertise have to do with the technology side of it, the investigation side. the preparing for trial, the analyzing things, the transcript side of things. Now, I have a good basis in the law. I took many classes. I got my paralegal certification, but by no means does that make me an attorney. I defer to the attorneys for that aspect. See, I'm more the type like where I'll come up with the strategies, what I want to accomplish, and then it's up
I
to
like when he's going to be talking about how he went to these prisons and people knew him. Listen,
a lot of things that may pop into my head where I try to strategize with different teams. They then tell me, Dom, there's really no tool we could use
hit that like button
to
and
bring
share
this.
this.
It's not going to be effective, and it gets shot down. But my philosophy is always, you don't know until you raise the issue. I like to raise everything, even if it may sound ridiculous, it may sound not worth trying. To me, everything's worth trying. What's the worst that can happen? You find out you can't do it. Okay,
Exactly.
well, you took a few minutes of your life and you found out you got your answer, rather than the what ifs. You know, you want to really know how things work.
Yeah, you don't want to strike out looking.
That's really the key, folks, and that's why, for me, my focus for We Push Back and those who support it, they understand it. It's really just bringing all these things into the public's attention, because I'm not delusional. I know what I'm doing is not going to change the game. I know what I'm doing is not going to be on such a level where I'm changing laws and statutes and all that's not even in the existence. What I set out to do is appeal to the public. Because here's the truth, folks. You guys hold the power. The jury holds the power. So that's who I'm going to appeal to, because that's something that I have the ability to appeal to, even if it's on a microscopic scale. I could still appeal to it. I always say, right, even if I get one jury who looks at things a little differently, who analyzes the case a little more informally, who gives the defendant a true fair trial, truly allows them to go through the due process. That's my goal. That's a win. That's a win. You just want to get a fair trial. So that's why I bring all these things to the attention of the public, because the public's not aware of it. And it's important that the public sees how often these informants lie, how often they change their stories, how often they boast, how often they use their platform to bash people, to insult people. Because for me, that's all part of the education process. That's all part of getting the public to see what we as maybe family members know, as defense teams know, as defendants may know. We know what goes on, but the vast majority of the public does not. So how do you inform them of it? Well, luckily today we have platforms such as this where anybody could talk about it, and whoever listens, they're gaining some knowledge. So that's the angle I take. And I wanted to just talk about that because I know for a lot of people, they may say, well, how is this allowed? How is Sammy Gravano allowed to admit to these things if he didn't disclose them? And as I said, it's really investigating that, making sure that's what took place. You have to pull the 302s. You have to go through the discovery. You have to make sure he's not just boasting, trying to sound for some reason, these informants think it sounds cool to boast about killing people and all this stuff. And say how they got away with things for the government. That Rubio, that other informant, that other clown, he made that mistake.
What's up?
He was boasting all the things he did. He destroyed evidence, and it came back to bite him in the ass because the government's not going to let you slap them in the face. Now, listen, I have a very good handle on it. These informants are not the government's priority as far as proving that they're liars, showing that they lied. We all understand. The public needs to understand if that happens, a lot of cases could open up again. A lot of defendants could get new trials if the government starts stepping in and saying, oh, this guy's lying. Oh, yeah, he didn't tell us that.
David? They're
going to try to sweep it under the rug for as long as they possibly can. So they really don't want it to come out. The only way it would come out is people pursuing it. People making noise about it. And that's what I try to do in the sense that I don't think they're going to say, oh, We Push Back is making noise about it. What I do think will happen is the public will start talking about it. The public will start asking questions. The public will not be satisfied with things being swept under the rug. The rug. What am I drinking? Under the rug. So
you Irish, Dom? What are you, half Irish?
For that to take place. And that's why I'm always grateful when people hashtag We Push Back, bring attention to it, because It's all part of like a process. All of those elements bring greater attention and greater exposure, and in turn educate the public, and in turn put these issues on a radar. on a radar on different scales. Different offices may see it. Different levels of the law may see it. It's just a matter of making noise about things. When you start to make noise and you start to bring things to light, they start to get attention. And that's all I care about, is just getting the right, proper attention. So hopefully down the road, people start to get a more fair and balanced trial. That's really the goal here, just for the Constitution to work the way it was intended to, because that hasn't happened in a long time. So trying to get back to the way the forefathers wanted this system to work, I try to do my small little part to kind of rewrite the ship and get it back on course. Again, I know it's a microscopic point. That's why I laugh when the haters are like, oh, it's, you know, it's nonsense, it's minimal. Yes, I know it's small. I know it's minimal. I'm under no delusions, but it will grow. Time will happen. How big it will grow, I don't know, but little by little, everything I'm doing is growing. Every time my phone rings from somebody new, a new defense office. Lately, it's been a lot of family members. I made a post about where I go into different Facebook groups for loved ones who are incarcerated, and I'll explain if there's anybody who is affected by lying informant and they want to just talk, even if they don't even want to go on the show, they just want to talk to me, see what I could say. And I've had a few of those conversations. Unfortunately, some of these lying informants that have impact these individuals, they're not on YouTube because it wasn't an informant on like some kind of famous case or high profile target. So it's a lot harder to prove their lies, you know. So we came up with different strategies and different things like that. And it's more about what I find is a lot of these families are just comforted in knowing they're not alone. They've experienced the nastiness of the justice system when it is one-sided, when they do have a target and they just want to get that target and they're not really interested in fair trial or anything like that. And that's really what I've noticed. I'm building a little bit of a bond of relatability where myself and these people are able to relate on common things that we've experienced, things that we may have seen our loved ones go through. And that in turn builds word of mouth. Yep. You have the family members telling you have the family members of the defendants who may be incarcerated, who were impacted, informing one another about we push back, and then things start to spread.
Yeah, they seen him at the thing.
As I told the story, when I was at a facility seeing a loved one, I had several people, several inmates bring up we push back to me, and that's what it's about. It's about it just spreading, people going to the website. And there's going to be a lot of changes to the website. It's going to be enhanced in a lot of ways. Right now, I actually, after strategizing a bit and taking some advice, I'm holding off on uploading certain things. It's almost at a little bit of a stalemate right now, an intentional stalemate, where I just don't want to do anything till certain things play out. I've had certain defense teams contact me with information on a few of these lying informants that are on YouTube. And we're on my end, I'm just holding things off until they go through the process they need to go through. But when the redesign comes around, I have a lot of good ideas. I'm going to probably separate the pages based on the informant. So you'll have a lying informant page. Right there. You'll have, let's just say, a John Panisi page and everything
a ghost
related to John Panisi on that.
I ain't scared no ghosts.
Who else is on here? Dominic Sicali page.
The rap and rap.
Everything related to that lying informant on there. Michael Scar's page. Everything related to that lying informant on there. As lying informants come to my attention, as they pop up on YouTube, as defense teams send me information that they want to put on the site, that's all going to be populated. And that's what's been happening as well, because, folks, all I could do is kind of create the platform, create the concept, create what I'm looking to accomplish, and then obviously I need the assistance of a lot of the defense teams, a lot of the family members, a lot of your friends who may have been impacted by different informants that I know nothing about, to educate myself on that and bring things to light. So it's a process that's organic, and it grows based on those who are involved and those who are contributing. So that's kind of the phase it's at now. It's in a growing phase. And I told you a while back, I was working on some strategic alliances, and those are actually looking really good. A few of the individuals, two of the individuals that I'm really excited about working with, they're let's just say they're very busy individuals. They they're very involved in certain things. So right now, that's really what's working against kind of putting that together. It's more of a scheduling thing. But I got to be honest. I'm very upfront with people. I let them know right away if it's not something you're just not into for whatever reason. You don't even got to explain it. I'm not the type to ask people, well, why? Why don't you believe in it? What? Listen, you don't believe in it after I explained it thoroughly. You don't agree with it. That's fine. So what's good is I'm very upfront where I'll tell them right out. If it's not for you, no hard feelings. I'll move on. I just want to explain it to you. And the couple that are still interested are telling me, no, Dominic, it has nothing to do with that. If I didn't believe in it, I would have told you a couple months ago. So that gives me a little bit of resolution in knowing that I think eventually you'll get to where I want it to be with certain strategic alliances. I've had some channels reach out to me. They wanted to get involved in their own way, but it really wasn't a fit. As time went on, I really became much more strict as to how I want this to develop and how I want whatever I control. There's things I can't control, obviously. I can't control what people put out. I can't control who hashtags it, things like that. I just try to keep it. It's my job. Let's just say it's my job to keep it on track. As I said, I'm the one who represents it, so I got to make sure the image I put out and the material I put out all align with it. And the supporters, they do a phenomenal job just in their own way. Just putting that a hashtag, even if it has nothing to do with the movement, it brings attention to it. That's what my goal was from day one, to really get in the algorithm, really get in the search results. And the last report I got from our SEO company showed me that every month it's going up. The where we show up in certain pages based on key terms is increasing. The amount of traffic is increasing. So everything's going up. So I know I'm on the right track. And as I have more time to devote to different marketing tactics and different ads that I want to run, it'll all kind of go together and just keep increasing.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm very confident with my strategy on that level.
He's eating toys right now.
As I always say, in life, you got to prioritize. So sometimes that takes a back seat to the more pressing issues, things that, put food on my family's table. I got to focus on things like that. I have to prioritize in that regard. But We Push Back is something that's near and dear to me, and I'll always feel strongly about, and I'll always continue to have it grow. And I told you, my ultimate achievement for it would be where it's organic, it grows by itself. I have ideas to where I could have members of the site, no cost, nothing's going to be a cost. The purpose of having the members of the site is just so they can control their own, let's just say, lying informant. If there's a lying informant that affected their family member, they'll have access to upload whatever they want related to that lying informant. So these are all ideas I have where I'll be assigning different members. I've had different attorneys contact me where they have a lying informant that maybe I never heard of, I know nothing about.
That's why it's really, that's why it's really important to hashtag the We Push Back wherever you're at, or comment sections or anything. It's a big help.
Portion of the site where they could update things relevant to their case or their client. So with all that said, I think I explained a little thoroughly why, even though it's shocking, and I agree, and it's very important to bring light to it. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying to gloss over it when these guys lie or when they say that they're admitting to a crime that they never told the government about. It's always good to bring attention to it, but to do something meaningful with it, that's where it falls into the hands of those impacted, the defense team, the family members. That's where they then have to use that information, contact those affected, or contact their defense team for their loved one if they happen to be a loved one of somebody or a defendant, and say, hey, listen, I just heard this. What can we do? What can we utilize? Is there any way we can utilize this? Is there any way, whatever the defendant's situation may be, if they're on appeal, they haven't filed the appeal, whatever it may be, they're sitting in jail on a life sentence. Is there a way to open up that door? Is there a way to get back in front of the judge based on what this lying informant is disclosing? That's really where it comes into play. But it's important to talk about it. It's important to mention it because, yes, at least it has the public saying, hey, look what this guy's doing. What's going on with that? It makes them think. And that's the key for a jury. They have to think. They have to be free thinkers. They can't just go with the narrative. They have to hear all sides and then use their own logic, their own philosophy, their own beliefs to really render a decision. And all of those elements, all the exposure, talking about these things, it all helps. It all helps, folks. Even on, a small captured audience on YouTube who may come across the channels, it still helps. Still helps. You get one person seeing it that you didn't get. That's one new person.
What's up, Fen Free?
And that's why I wanted to get into the ones who hosted. I noticed a couple of them. They really want to have the best of both worlds.
This is what I like,
and that just doesn't fly with me. It flies with a lot of people. To that, I don't understand, but it doesn't fly with me, and I'll tell you why. From my perspective, and that's why I want to do this on the chat session. This is heavily opinionated here. From my perspective, you cannot in one breath say, oh, look at this lying informant. He's lying, this guy. Look at the damage he did to this family and this and that. And then in the next breath, you're doing episode after episode, hosting these same lying informants who lie on different family members, who lie on defendants, who attack family members, who use a platform to get revenge. How many times we hear these guys abusing people from their former life? So now you're going to host that. You're going to make money off of it. And let's not fool each other, folks. It's all about the money. Clicks, views, and money. They put them, they got a name. They could use hashtags of maybe famous defendants that they impacted in their episode to bring viewers in. So they're making monies off the defendants. They're making money off of the family. They're making money off of the informant. They're just making money all around. And they want the best of both worlds, see? Yeah, they'll want to put them on and let them tell their nonsense, let these informants lie, let them...
I believe he's talking about Paps Cole. I didn't ask him or nothing, but I'm just hypothesizing. He's talking about Pervy Paps and Tipsy Tom.
Insult people, let them insult defendants.
That elk of creatures.
Family members. And then they want to do another episode talking about another informant who they just may not like and talk about how bad the guy is. Now, am I crazy or is that contradictory?
Yeah, the website.
See, I just don't get that. To me, that doesn't make sense. To me, that's a person who doesn't even know who they are. They don't believe in anything. They're just trying to see where they can get an audience, where they can make the most money. They'll be sponsored. They'll be sponsored. They'll have their show sponsored by products sold by a lying informant. And in the same breath say they're against lying informants or saying, oh, we're calling them out. No, you're not calling anybody out. You're just doing episodes on lying informants. You have some good ones and you have some bad ones, depending on which lying informant you don't like. You'll have one episode where you're bragging one lying informant saying, oh, he's telling the truth just because he's attacking another informant that maybe you don't like. Well, here's why that's, to me, I'd never go that route. To me, they're all lying informants. So I'm not going to use one liar to discredit another liar. If I want to discredit the liar, I'll do it myself. I'll do it the right way. I just don't see the logic in that. It's all about credibility. You can't in one breath say these guys are lying informants, but he's telling the truth about this. Why? Because two stool pigeons are fighting with each other? That's ridiculous to me. Let them fight with each other. They're both on the same playing field. Let them say whatever they want about each other. But the truth is, if their lips are moving, I don't believe either one of them. I want to disprove both their lies. That's how I operate. I don't want to praise one and then abuse another one. To me, they're the same animal. Same animal, maybe a different species, but the same type. Same type. Or I should say, same species, different animal. That's really what I should say. That's what it's like. So it doesn't matter. And a lot of these hosts will play that game. You'll notice, look at their channels, look at their episodes. They'll have these informants on, praising them if they like them, talking about they're going to go on to do shows with them, talking about who's sponsoring them, that it's an informant's product sponsoring them. We
have Dominic Sicali, MC Stool Pigeon Vodka. Hey, Rostrovia. If you like real vodka, get MC Stool Pigeon Vodka. Fucking idiots. I can't do it right.
And then they'll try to say, oh, we're exposing informants. You're not exposing anybody. You're doing a YouTube episode.
Yeah, you're just making a few bucks trying to play both sides. What's up, ZLS? So sounding like Paps needs gas money.
Maybe you're doing an unfavorable one. Doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. It has to all be concise, and it all has to follow the same guidelines. And what I mean by that is everything I do follows the same set of beliefs. Whether they're right or wrong, A lot of people disagree with me, but I don't agree with any lying informant. I won't have them on my show. I won't talk to them. I won't acknowledge them. I won't comment back to them. I won't go to their page. I won't engage with them. If they leave a message on my page,
Wait a minute, damn. You mean you won't tell the guy that, hey, Benici, that was Christopher's underclothes that was left in the CN5 bar. Those are Christopher's underclothes.
Hidden and deleted and blocked. Want nothing to do with them. You know why? I don't know 95% of them on here. The couple I do know is only because I've seen them and it's not that I know them. I just know what they've done because they may have impacted a family member of mine. But just because I may not have any personal dealings with them, I would feel like I'm letting the other family members down by engaging with various informants. I would feel like I'm telling them, well, I really don't care about that because he didn't.
Yeah, but you don't understand, damn. I had to correct him. Christopher's underclothes were left in the C430 bar because I had to sniff them every morning for Sammy Gravano.
Me and my family. I'm just going to focus on the ones that did. That's how I would feel. That's my personal opinion. So I would never do that. I feel I have somewhat of responsibility. It's against my beliefs, so it wouldn't even be an option anyway. But let's just say I wasn't that strong on it. The moral part of me that wouldn't even allow me to engage with other informants would just be that I can't do that to another family member. Yeah. If I want people to respect what I'm saying and respect how a certain informant may have impacted somebody I know, then I should respect that person as well. I should respect that.
Well, you know what? One time, Dom, John Panisi impacted my guts. He really impacted my guts. Oh, my God.
Different informant may have had a major impact on that person.
And yes, I was in boot camp for 2 weeks and I got thrown out for lying. Still qualifies for stolen valor. The Admiral's daughter, without a doubt.
And I think that's why.
Yeah, look at the back. He's got himself spinning on the thing. This looks like some Fox News, Newsmax thing. It's pretty cool.
I feel so strongly about it, about the fact that you can't pick and choose.
No, you can't pick and choose. And there's no, he's a nice little rat boy. He sells vodka. He's a wonderful little stool pigeon.
I almost take insult for those who may have been impacted and how they would feel.
They would look at them like scumbags.
You know, with me going around saying, well, I don't think this guy's a liar, but yet this guy lied on their family.
Yeah.
And one of their loved ones is away because of those lies. I feel like I'm minimalizing their pain and what they experienced and not really have their back. And
without a doubt.
As far as I'm concerned, those are the backs of the people I am going to have. I'm going to have the backs of the people who've experienced what I've experienced, who may have, excuse my hand for a minute. I'm just trying to fix something.
This little AI guy's going nuts. Like he's got
who went through something similar that I went through or my family has went through. So that's why for me, you can't pick and choose. And that's why for me, when these, those who host these informants try to play both sides.
Disgusting.
You know, they're burning both sides of the candle.
Paps, pervy Paps.
I see right through it, and I have no respect for it. You can't ride the fence and try to get the best of both worlds. You want to be buddies with the informant you like. You want to go on shows with them.
Yes, I can, Dom. I can ask Panisi, where's Christopher's underclothes? Why were they left in the C456 bar, John Panisi?
Them your platform to abuse people, to insult people. You want to take money from their sponsorships of whatever nonsense product they're selling.
MC Stool Pigeon Vodka coming to a Russian near you, to a Russian brothel near you.
You want to brag it. You want to talk about shows you're going to be doing with them. And then at the same tone, you want to say, "Oh, but
talking tough, Assassino." We all know what happened to Paps when when Ramundi went to see him. Paps had a heart attack in Nevada with a nicotine patch on his chest that said Amarillo by morning, straight from Anatown. That's George Strait.
this guy's lying, so I feel bad for the family and this and that. No. In my opinion, you can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose. To me, that means you have no backbone. That means you just flip flop with the wind. You go where the money is. That's all it boils down to. You go where the money is. You have money's on informants episodes. That's just a fact, especially when you start high hashtagging the high profile targets that informant may have participated in a case with. So it's all a game, and that's what they do. And a lot of people don't see through it. And for me, it's crazy. I don't know how people don't see the contradictory nature in that. Again, only on YouTube. In the real world, everybody I talk to sees it. From whether it's lawyers to defendants to family friends, they all see it. On YouTube, it's glossed over. But I'll never gloss over that. I'm the same person on YouTube for the sake of, I don't know, appeasing people. So that's why I know people say, well, why does he care about those who host? And why do I care? I care in the sense that they're the ones who are, without them, these informants would only have their one channel to go on. That's the only source they'd be able to get their BS narrative out on. Exactly. But with the host, they're opening the door up for many avenues, different channels, different things. And I get it. A lot of these individuals, they don't have an opinion one way or another on informants. They don't care, I guess, if somebody lied to cost somebody their freedom. It's not that important to them. What's important to them is making money off of that. Listen, different strokes, different folks. Everybody grew up with a different set of moral beliefs, a different set of ethics. So I can't knock it. It's just not my way. It's not my way of doing things. So I can't relate to it, and I won't relate to it, and I won't even pretend I relate to it. People who try to say, oh, they're businessmen. Bullshit. I've been a businessman since I'm 21 years old when I started my own business. I didn't have to break my ethics or my morals. I was able to do things in a way that I was able to sleep at night, and I was comfortable doing things. So just because your motivation may be to make money, you could always tailor it to fit with your morals, depending on what type of person you are. And sometimes, you can't make money if, from my world anyway, if making money requires for me to throw away who I am as a person, well, then I don't want to make the money.
Amen.
That's an individual circumstance. Everybody handles that differently. And, it's just how you handle that. I've had many situations thrown my way where I can make money, whether it was to go on certain shows.
Yeah, he loves Mao Zedong.
I had certain clients. I think I told the story. We had a client I was making big money on. I found out something where this guy was he was a pedophile, a degenerate. Once I found that out and I verified that it was true, I cut the contract immediately. And what amazed me is everybody's different, because I heard about him being at a networking event like 3 months later and people were fine with it. So listen, hey, to each their own, but that's not for me. That's not for me. If I feel strongly about something, I don't care if there's money involved. I'm not getting involved with it. I'm not going to do it. And these host people, you have to realize these hosts, when they're trying to get the best, I have more respect for the host who just say they like informants and that's it. They're going to interview them. They don't care about it, because at least they're being honest.
Exactly.
When you get the ones that try to straddle the fence and say,
like Lee Cole, like Paps straddling the fence. That's what Paps does. Be more like that little English chap, RJ, who just wants to wear Scares as slacks and just wants to own a pair of Mikey Scares as slacks and be his brother.
Well, I'm bringing attention to informants and this and that. No, you're bringing a lot of attention to them. You're bringing a lot. You're giving them your platform to talk about people, to spread lies. And what, you do a couple interviews where maybe you didn't like the informant and you asked him a few hard questions. See, I don't even agree with that. Don't give them any opportunity. Don't even give them a voice. If you're truly against it, you don't give them a voice. If you're not against it, you want to give them a voice. Sorry, I don't want to give them a voice. They have enough voices. Okay? They have the government giving them a voice. They have YouTube giving them a voice. They have reality shows. There was reality shows on some of these informants. I don't know if you guys remember. There was like a reality show. I think it was on like VH1.
There's a few
this informant, he had
Mama's Boy,
like a car wash. He had it. Look it up. You'll see. Just put like informant. You could put like wise guy, reality show.
There was one called Mama's Boys with these 3 stool pigeons, these 3 fucking middle-aged fucking man children living with their mommies, stealing sausages and meatballs out of the gravy and talking perverted in front of their mom.
You'll see.
Hey,
He
Mom, I'm gonna go bang 10 chicks tonight. Hey, oh, fucking stool pigeons.
reality show. Sammy Gravano, right? He had a friggin' reality
Yeah.
show.
The Scumvanos, the Gravanos, we sell drugs together. Daddy killed my uncle.
Well, they have plenty of outlets putting their voice out. They're doing magazines, interviews. They
got me husband of the year. Hey, Deb, I love you so much. What about you killed my brother? Sorry about that. No problem. Let's sell some pills.
got plenty of that. You don't need to add to it. If you add to it, in my opinion, you're
It's siblings day for the Gravano family. What do you say, Deb? Purple pills, please.
Part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. And to keep fooling people, I want to know who the naive people who actually believe that when they host these guys, they're doing some kind of good. You're not doing any good. Your credibility, in my opinion, goes right out the window the second you host them and give them a platform. And especially when they start telling stories about people. They want to tell their own stories, but you ever notice they don't? They always got to bring up big names. They always got to bring up high-profile targets in their stories. Just go through it. Don't even take my word for it. Go through all the informant channels. Look at their hashtags, look at their thumbnails, and look at their titles. Then do a percentage. See how many of those hashtag titles and thumbnails represents them personally and the stories about themselves, or how many represent other people who have a bigger name or a bigger high-profile target and is going to bring bigger views. Go do that experiment, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And do the same thing for the guys who host them. When they put them on, look at all the hashtags. Yeah. Look at the big names they'll also put in the title. Exactly. It's all for the views, folks.
Ripper down in aisle 5. Aisle 5, we have a ripper down. I repeat, we have a ripper down.
That's why I'm so against it, and that's why I don't co-sign it, and that's why I want nothing to do with the individuals who host them. Nothing to do with it. To me, they're part of the problem. That's it. I want nothing at all to do with them. So when I see them playing those games where they try to act like they have compassion or they understand the families that were affected, well, your actions don't line up to that. Because one week you're saying that, the next week you're screaming how you're sponsored by some informant product company, or how you're doing shows with the informant.
That's gotta be Paps right there. I really hate these informants. I really hate them. This week, this show is sponsored by MC Stool Pigeon.
So how they're on your show and you're laughing and you're having a good time, which is fine, but don't paint it as something it's not. Don't paint it as if you have this serious belief that they shouldn't be lying and they shouldn't be telling tales on people. Don't play that game because you're hosting them.
What's up, Grant?
You're having them on. You're giving them a spotlight. You're getting them views. You're getting them attention. You're getting people to go.
Paps is very close to Tonto Genie Boy Borello. Very close to Genie Boy. He writes some little letters and kissy hearts.
Channel. You're building their brand bigger than it would have been without you. So you're helping them. You could twist it. They could paint it however they want. They could do episode after episode with the informants they don't like.
And
trying to say, oh, this guy's a bad guy. But the facts remain. There's episode after episode with informants they do like, telling their stories, using their platform, using it to attack people, to tell lies about people, to kick people when they're down, people who are doing life sentences, letting them on just to tell them 99% of bullshit stories in plain English, but they try to tell embarrassing stories. They try to tell stories that try to embarrass people. That's their move. And the host just sit back and enjoy it.
Of course.
It's like that host, that guy who used to co-host Panisi, having cigars, having the guy at his house, going on field trips. Taking their lunch packs on their school bus to go see the different field trips.
They were going on little mafia excursion field trips. Tipsy Tom and Panisi with the feds following them. Tipsy Tom actually let John Panisi into his home around his family. Tipsy, what's going on with the Friar Tuck? Oh my God, shave that head. Hair Club for Men, Hair Club for Men. Maybe Tipsy's going to go buy implants soon, like Adam 16.
Playing the part with the cigars and the cigar lounge drinking.
Playing the
on,
pot.
please. We're not, but there's a lot that aren't. There's a lot that see right through it. And they see it has nothing to do with business, this bullshit. It has to do with the fact that a lot of these guys, and these are the facts, they're enamored with somebody who's supposedly an organized crime, whatever BS. They're enamored. In my opinion, be enamored with another grown man, that's weird to me. That's weird to me. You could respect somebody. Absolutely. Yeah, I respect a lot of people. But to be so enamored with another grown man, you got to have your head examined for something like that. That's just odd to me.
Uncle Edwin.
To hero worship another grown man? Come on.
Uncle Edwin. Ripper, we have a Ripper down in aisle 5. Uncle Edwin Jimenez just put the yellow tape around. I repeat, we have a Ripper down.
So I can't relate to that at all.
Please bring the Hannibal Lecter mask and the castrating pliers, please. We have a Ripper down, I repeat.
We have terms for people like that. And I'm sure you've heard them throughout YouTube, but that's just insane to me. That's just insane. You could respect somebody for what they are, for maybe how they live by a certain set of beliefs, or how maybe you know them, they're good people. You could respect them, you could admire them. But to hero worship, and it's insane. And if you notice, that's what these hosts do.
Yes,
folks, look, they go after all these supposed organized crime informants, ex-organized crime who are now informants. They want to talk about all the nonsense and live through their stories. They're enamored by it, folks. So you got to ask yourself, if you're the family member, you're the defense team, these are the type of hosts that you think really, really want to care about the defendant's side of things, really want to hear the defendant's side of things, when they're just putting out material after material, bashing different defendants, allowing somebody to bash different defendants. But then they'll pick one or two informants they don't like and say, oh, this guy's a bad guy. And they try to use that as an equalizer to say, oh, no, but we're fair. We show both sides. No, you don't. No, you don't. Show both sides of your favorite informant. Put your favorite informant.
Show both sides of your sex life.
Informant on there, and then get the families that informant infected. Then have a debate. Then you're showing both sides. But you're not showing both sides. You're showing the bad side of the informant you don't like and the good side of the informant you like. And you're letting them use your platform. You're letting them tell their stories. You're letting them abuse people, slander people, attack family members, all on your watch. So you can't pretend. For the naive, I guess that game works. There's a lot of naive people who say, oh, but they're doing this and that. No, I see through that bullshit. I see exactly what they're doing. They're trying to create an equalizer that doesn't exist. In my eyes, that's not an equalizer. In my eyes, that shows me how full of what they truly are. But other people, they fall for it. They try to say, he did this episode. He's going after informants. He's not going after anybody. He did one episode on an informant he didn't like. That 90% of the time, there's about 1 million episodes on that informant. So the material is already flooded. So people already made up their mind. He did this. They believe this guy's a lying piece of you-know-what, or they think he's a great guy.
Yeah.
That's it. But to really do something that matters, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here for the clicks, for the views, for the monetization, none of that. What I'm here for is to gain attention and to do something with that attention.
Yeah, and
to let families know, to let the defendants know, hey, we got your back. Yeah. We know what you're going through. Although this informant may not have affected me, may not have affected anybody I know, I can relate to you and I'm here to help you. So you need a voice. You need some ideas. You need some strategy.
And Dom doesn't just talk the talk. He walks the walk.
I'm going to try to offer what I can. And that's why I touched at the beginning what family members need to do. If there's an informant on here that you were affected by, or the defendant, a loved one was affected by, that's where the ball starts rolling. That's where you have to utilize this stuff. You have to send it into the defense team. See if it could be used as an opportunity to get back into the court. And your legal team will be the ones to advise you of that. But it doesn't hurt to capture it, house it, hold on to it, give it to them, talk about it, have a discussion. Things may pop up. You may get one issue that compounds with another issue. And separately, they may not be that powerful. But compounded, you can now utilize that as part of your strategy. And that's what I try to relay to everybody. That's what I want everybody to kind of take away from my episodes. the purpose of these things and how they could help and who to talk to about having them help. My office is always open to those impacted, always open. You ever want to strategize, you ever want my 2 cents on something, always feel free to reach out for that. I could always even put you in touch with certain people to tell you how they utilize different things, different disclosures.
Yeah, people should just reach out to Dom. You have any problems like that, reach out.
Publicly, but I could, with the obvious.
Vinny says, what, aisle 5, we have a ripper down, please. Bring the castrating pliers and bring a Hannibal Lecter mask. The ripper is down.
See, with the permission of different defense teams, I could disclose certain things to help others in similar situations. And that's what counts. It's doing something with that material, helping family, helping defendants that were perhaps wrongfully accused of something, lied upon, or helping maybe a family member who's being defamed, being slandered by one of these informants. Help them do something about that. You know, for me, that's where my allegiance lies. My allegiance lies with people I can relate to, people who see things in the sense that it's not acceptable for an informant to come out, lie about somebody to avoid accountability, and then seek YouTube fame and have all the help from these hosts and enablers, all the help they want. Get on their shows, sponsor their shows, do co-shows, laugh, joke, go on a field trip. They're getting all the help in the world. On top of getting all the help in the world from
He's on a field trip with Tipsy Tom. Tipsy Tom's wearing lederhosens. He's wearing lederhosen with a little propeller on his hat like Spanky. He's got this little paper bag with a ham sandwich in it. He's going on a field trip with Ghost Boy.
Citizens who
We're
have
going to a place where no man has gone before. And Tipsy's like, where's that, Johnny boy? Take those slacks off, Tommy.
Podcast. They're getting help from the government.
The government all day long.
They're getting help in every way, shape, or form. You know, and it's funny. You have to realize these informants could say these crazy things. They could talk about murders maybe they committed, didn't disclose. And it's not going to mean anything unless, as I laid out, something's done about it by those who can do something about it. The defense team, the family members, the defendant. That's the only way some of these things may come back in a way that could be productive, in a way that could be helpful. But what I find very telling, folks, and the public should realize this, it'll go to show, it really goes to show how they're not on the government's radar at all as far as any of their misdoings, misdeeds.
No, not at all. Don't worry, little Ripper. Sweet little Ripper, don't say a word. Transbo's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, Trambo's gonna put you a filthy, perverted ring. I don't want to say it.
Lies, falsities, disclosures. As I just explained, it's a tough process to try to bring that to the attention of the courts, right? If somebody's talking about an informant's talking about a murder they may have committed and didn't disclose, right? It's a process if you want to see if it has any bearing or could do any.
Mommy, every time a bell rings, a Ripper gets his wings.
Possible good to those that were impacted, right?
Without a doubt, Joffrey Baratheon. Without a doubt. I entered boot camp. 2 weeks later, I lied. I was thrown out of my ass.
Let's reverse the situation. Let's say that I come on here, right? Let's say I come on here and I start talking about, I don't know, crimes I committed or something I did. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think it's going to be the same difficult process to give me a problem?
They'd kick Dom's door in and take this big screen TV, and they'd take Dom's couches, and they'd even piss on his fireplace. You would be in the can so fast if you said, I want to punch you in the nose to one of these informants.
I wouldn't give it a day before my doors are kicked open. And you have to realize, folks, it has to do with who's on the government's radar, who they consider a target. If you have maybe a name that that they don't like, maybe you got a last name they just don't like. Maybe it's somebody in town they just don't like. There's different reasons for being a target. You could be a high profile target. You could be in a small town, just a target in that town that the local police don't like. It all has to do with being a target. So the public should take note of that, how the in that regard, the system is, again, unbalanced.
Of course.
Where you have somebody like myself that may go on, maybe I say certain things, and they'll look to maybe investigate that and explore that if somebody like me says it, but pretty much disregard it if somebody like Sammy Gavano says it or any of these lying informants say it. Because to them, you got to realize they utilize them. They use them for bigger targets. They use them to get promotions. They use them to go after individuals they wanted to get a notch on their belt for. So they're not going to look to disrupt that.
No,
they're not going to look in any way to disrupt that. The only way it could even potentially get disrupted is if family makes noise, friends make noise, defendants make noise, defense teams make noise about it and bring it to the court's attention. Other than that, it's not going to really mean anything. It's just not.
And that's what Dom and his team did. They grabbed all these stuff that these stoolies said out here and put it for the Rule 33.
Now, where it means something is on the public side. That's why I chose to appeal to the public. Not that the public could do anything about it, but the public needs to be aware about it. Why? Because in turn, that'll then give them a different way of looking at things if and when the time comes they are selected to be a juror. Yeah. They'll know about what goes on. They're not going to take every word out of an informant's mouth as gospel. They're going to try to cross-check it based on what goes on in the courtroom, based on exhibits, perhaps, based on cross-examination. They're going to really dissect it and take their time. They're not just going to drink it all like Kool-Aid. That's what I focus on.
What do you mean? Like, you don't want to go to Jonestown? They said they have some wonderful orange Kool-Aid down there.
Want people to hesitate when they're in that jury box. Hesitate, reflect, and analyze. Really think. Really analyze this.
Should we do tranbo on 1,000 per?
That's what needs to be done. And that's what I appeal to. And that's why I wanted to do a chat session about my feelings with these hosts and those who enable them. Because time and again, I see, and it isn't just one. I've seen a couple of them where they try to play both sides of the fence, and in one breath, what these line informants do is no good. And the next breath, they're hosting them time and again. Yeah. They're paying them for interviews. They're giving them a platform. To me, they have no credibility when that happens. Zero credibility. I take everything out of their mouth with a grain of salt. As far as sincerity goes,
I think Dom's been drinking tonight. He called the rug a lug. He called the salt a smalt.
When their lips are moving, that automatically tells me they're insincere. Okay? That's how I view it. That's how I view it. Not everybody views it that way. Obviously, just look at YouTube. Look at the company.
I agree with him right here, 100%.
Without
a doubt, 100%.
People are comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it. You're going to allow a lying informant a platform. You're going to let him tell lies about people. What about their family? What about their friends? What about their loved ones? What about the defendants that may be doing life in prison based on this guy testifying against them? And the host of the guy who testified against them is doing show after show, getting sponsored by them, hanging out with them, talking about big projects for the future. And then if you notice, folks, when certain things fall apart, these guys think that
what they don't understand is when you're a white guy and you go to prison in some of them states, if you don't join some white group for protection, you will get taken advantage of and abused. So in certain states, not all states, but certain states, Midwest, California, everything's racial in them prisons. You have no other choice. Either that or become a victim.
I don't know. They think they're ahead of certain people when they're just not, when they're very transparent. They'll talk about in past episodes how they have these big plans, right, with informants. I've seen this play out. I'm going to do this with an informant. We're going to be doing the shows. We're going to be getting sponsored, right? Then something happens, something personal now. It's not something morally. Remember that. That's what's important. This isn't morally, personally. Something personally may happen. They get into a lover's quarrel. They get into a spat. and that informant latches onto another host. Then you'll see that original host do a 180, right? Then you don't like informants no more. Then they're no good. Then we're not going to deal with certain informants. Folks, it all just has to do with who's in the picture at that moment. Because people like that, another informant will come around and they'll redo the exact same thing. They do it time and again. Just look at their track records of these hosts, folks. Look at who they have on their show. Look at who they're comfortable calling friend.
Yep.
Look who they're comfortable talking to, platforming, accepting money from sponsorships, accepting money, paying money to have them on the show.
MC Stool Pigeon wants that vodka puss, the Strovia.
Of all these elements. Then ask yourself, are they really sincere? Do they really care? And I'm not appealing to just the general public here, because everybody's going to look at that differently, and I get that. I'm appealing to the family, to the friends, to the defendants, and to the defense teams of those impacted. When you start looking at these shows and those who host them, you got to really ask yourself, what are these hosts doing?
Money.
What good or bad are they doing? Look at
They're either in it for money or, like you said, the wise guy hump, personal gratification.
their library. Look at past shows they did. So I'm just saying you need to look at that, folks. And remember, for the family, for the friends, defendants, defense team, I got your back. And when I say you got your back, I'm not just saying that. I got your back. And my behavior will reflect that I have your back. You won't see any inconsistencies on my end.
No, you won't.
You won't see me placating to those who host informants. You won't see me having relationships with them. It's not going to happen. So when I tell you I got your back, I truly mean I got your back. And when I tell you I'll be a voice for the voiceless, that's what I mean. In the sense that a lot of these families, they don't want to talk. They don't want to really air certain things out. And I get it. So that's where I come in. That's where I'm able to offer whatever I can offer. I have several family members that I've met through here that they don't want to be on. They don't want to tell their story. They just want to talk about it. And I've built certain relationships based on that. Just the relatability aspect that I spoke about earlier. And that's important to me. It's important to me that they know somebody legitimately has their back and not just for clicks and views.
Yep.
And it's not just using them for material or using them to get the next big episode. That's why it's so important to me not to be monetized, not to take a penny, not to have a cash app, not to have a super chat, because it's very important to me to show the people that I don't, not just talking, that I truly care about it, that I'm truly vested in it for reasons outside of the almighty dollar. I'm vested in this. And what I do off of YouTube is what brings me satisfaction. This is more of a venting, and it's more therapeutic, to be honest. And I enjoy engaging with the commenters. I enjoy people leaving comments, and I enjoy interacting. I enjoy seeing what the public has to say based on my thoughts and my words and the material I'm putting out there.
Howie Cocktoes.
I enjoy that. That's more of a personal thing.
That's the guy who
But production and what really takes place.
Howie was that cuckold who was eating White Castle burgers with his friends, watching his wife's sex tapes.
That takes place behind the scenes. That takes place on what I'm building with WePushBack.com and what I do with Justice Tech Pros on that side in relation to the legal system. That's what gives me satisfaction, what I'm able to achieve on those ends. YouTube it gives me more personal satisfaction. You know, it's like I said, it's therapeutic. I enjoy it. I enjoy engaging. I enjoy answering questions, and I enjoy just sharing my thoughts because, again, before I started coming out with, before we push back, the truth is, and whoever wants to say otherwise, they're just fooling themselves. Nobody was going after these informants and showing the lies and showing examples and showing and giving the opportunity. Like when I had that gentleman on who was impacted by John Panisi, and he showed the lies this guy was telling on him. Nobody was giving them that platform. Nobody was doing that. Yeah, people were doing it individually. That's for sure. If they had an informant that was affecting them or it was a personal, yes. That obviously all family members are going to do that. I've seen a lot of
there was nothing like We Push Back that came out and tackled all these informants or nothing. It was just people's personal beefs with individual rats.
Channels and a lot of different family members in different realms talking about that. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the overall atmosphere of it all. There was nobody on social media and YouTube going after them on a whole and just bringing light to it. And when I mean going after them, I'm talking about just exposing what they're all about. I'm not on here abusing them, insulting them. Trust me, I'd have a lot of that to say if I wanted to, but it's, first off, it's not the format for it, and nobody wants to hear that, in my opinion. They don't want to hear me. I don't know. I just don't think that's not.
Don't worry, Dom. I'll do that. I'll abuse them and make fun of them on here all day long.
What I'm here for. That's more for my personal life. I'll share my personal feelings on that level. What I'm here for is to tell the public, listen, this is what they're doing. Don't let them fool you that they're, good guy now, or they turned over a new leaf.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what they're doing as of today, after they testified, what still goes on, the words that still come out of their mouth, the threats that they still make. I'm going to be here to remind them of that. And it's going to be on wepushback.com forever to remind them of that. And hopefully it evolves in the way that I plan for it to evolve, where members could just add their own material. And when I say members, let me clarify, because people can say, oh, We Push Back has members. No members as far as We Push Back. I mean allowing member access to the site. And I'm using the term member as really just a user. So if there's a user that I want to give access to the site where they could have their own module.
So it's basically, let's say somebody's family was told on by Tony the Tiger, fucking stool pigeon over here. Somebody, they could go on there and put all their information up there. That's pretty cool.
That perhaps houses the lying informant that affected them. That's what I mean. There'll be a user where they could populate their portion of the website that focuses on the informant they want to focus on. It'll be very user interactive, and different people will be able to contribute in ways they want to contribute it to. So that's what I mean by that. And I'm not going to use the word member any longer, because I could already imagine people are going to run with that. So users could use the site, no members. That's the plan. We'll have user access with their own access code. They could go in and add to the site and enhance the site. And that's my future plans for it, where basically it's running itself. People are just assigned aspects of the site, and it's running itself. It's populating itself. So that's really it, what I wanted to say, folks. I know there's a lot of nonsense going on YouTube and different genres. I'm going to be honest, folks. I don't really watch much anymore, because it was just boring. Number one, it's not what I'm on YouTube.
A lot of people feel the same way, Dom. But thank you for that. Was a great video Dom did right there. And shout out to We Push Back. I'll link the website in the thing. I forgot to link it, but the YouTube channel and the Justice Tech Pros channels in there. And I wanted to stream something. All right, now we can. I wanted to put that out there, and I want to play that Man in the Box channel, and I'll share his channel before I play it. Oh, do you see the Transbo? I think by Transbo putting that out actually hurt him more than anything, because it proves that he did lie. He did lie. He said that the court sent 4 months in Rikers Island, 4 months in Rikers to go box with it. That's stolen valor. Saying you're a Navy boxer, stolen valor. Total bullshit artist, man. Guy looks retarded. The guy Man in the Box did a real good video on it. Hold on a second. I'm going to share this guy's channel. I will link his channel in the stream at the end. But I just put his channel in the chat right there. If you're not sub to it, check it out. He makes a real good point with this video too. Hold on, I'll share it. He didn't make it past basic, yeah. But yeah, he went and fought for the guys. And that's stolen valor. Do you know how many times most of these people say they were in the Army and Navy SEALs and all that? We're in the Army, but they just never did what they say they did. And now is his thing real? Who knows? We'll listen to Man in the Box. He knows about a lot more than I do. Let's listen to this character right here.
Real quick, I want you to read this comment on the screen. Very important, pertaining to the DD-214 and about Silo in the Navy. Me and a few other people put out a few requests.
What's up, Hev? How you doing? Mike, what's up?
We messaged the people at the Archive Center, and all of us got the same message back that this guy was never in the military. The DD-214 appears to be real, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he did sign up to boot camp. If you,
I still don't believe it, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He failed boot camp. He was thrown out for lying. But watch it. Man in the Box can put it more eloquently than me. Let me shut up.
Actually read it, and you go back and see things that he said. He was only in boot camp for a few weeks, so he was truthful about that. He did go to Navy boot camp, but he lied about a bunch of other stuff too. If you look up what a JDA is, a JDA 6, and the fraudulent entry, basically what happened was he lied about something prior to signing up that would have disqualified him from even serving. So again, him getting...
What's up, Westies? So basically, is I lied to get in there, and then they threw me out because I was a liar. The Admiral's daughter came from Top Gun.
The Admiral's daughter, that's a lie. That wouldn't be a fraudulent entry, so he lied about that. He also lied about a honorable discharge. If you look at a fraudulent entry, that's not even close to a honorable discharge. It's closer to a dishonorable discharge, but he crossed out the reason he was discharged at the very bottom.
Now, Grind Jr., Man in the Box is talking.
And the final thing is, he couldn't have been a championship Navy boxer if he was only there for like 28 days or whatever it said.
28 days?
Yeah, he only lasted a few weeks. He wouldn't have been even on the boxing team. He never even finished basic training.
He's that little coward in Stripes. Ever see Stripes with Bill Murray? I can't make it. I can't do it.
So, he was honest. He did go to boot camp, but I wouldn't consider that serving. The guy only stayed for a few weeks and left.
Yeah.
Basically, he took a little bit of the truth and made a giant lie out of it.
Yeah, and that's what usually happens with all liars. They'll take a little bit of truth and lie with it.
And if you could still, you might even still consider that stolen valor. He did go.
Yeah, I do consider that stolen valor. I sure do. When you say that you were in the Navy and you fought Navy, you beat the Army guy for the Navy boxing club, that means you're not in the Navy. You failed. You got thrown out of boot camp for lying. Shocking, ain't it?
Go to boot camp, but he lied about what he did there. He lied about what he did during the service.
Yeah. And lying about what you do in the service is stolen valor. It really is. Even that guy Don Shimply busted, that black Marine down in Louisiana. He was a Marine. Oh, no, he was a Navy guy, but he was never a fucking Navy SEAL.
He lied about being a championship Navy boxer. He lied about the stuff with the Admiral. Well, he lied about a lot of stuff. So, it's kind of like a John A-like thing. There's like a little half truth, and there's a whole bunch of lies with it. And this DD-214 makes him look even worse because he was basically kicked out for lying. The guy's been lying his whole life. He's a compulsive liar, and then that's all he knows.
Well said. Well said. And that's so true. Compulsive liar, that's all he knows. What's up? Yeah, it's this. Why lie, though? Just tell the fucking truth, man. No, everybody said it. That might be a fake paperwork, even. It could be fake, but let's just give him the benefit of the doubt right here and say he did get thrown out of boot camp. It was too strong for the married. They made him quiet after weeks. Which I had in imagination, he does. He should have wrote Dr. Seuss books, literally. But you can still have an imagination. Look, I do. Look, I said I was from South Dakota with one arm. I was blind. I was deformed. Well, I really am deformed, my face. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a great imagination without making up lies to make yourself look cool or better. All right, Shy Hooker, I will. Thanks for your service. What's up, Agnostic? How's it going, man? Top G. It looks fake. I could be wrong. Well, it most likely is, but let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and say he went to boot camp and got thrown out for being a liar. Hey, Ron, what's up? Send my love to the Miss America, Debbie. You know, some people really are, though. There are some people, like I've grown up with kids that can't stop lying, and they'll lie about the most littlest, stupidest things that you don't have to lie about. You know, like things you'd like, what'd you have for breakfast? So I had bacon and eggs, motherfucker. I see pancakes over there. I see chocolate chip pancakes on your table. Oh, my little sister was about to eat them. I swear, I had eggs and bacon. Well, why do you get chocolate chip pancakes and syrup on your cheeks? Geez, I don't know. My little sister was very sick and she threw up the food and it hit me in the face, man. Like, there's just some people lies for it. Yeah, BK. There's a lot of people that are sick. He got thrown out of boot camp and didn't make it all, so he didn't do for the country. No, he didn't do shit. And he lied. He got thrown out. These people are twisted, man. Ask him if this is a has a self-esteem. He really does. Like the thing. All right, picture what got him into all this. Kane Shades is trolling me with a troll army. Kane Shades is the leader of 4 legions of Roman army trolls. And he's sicking them on me. It's a troll conspiracy. Like, no. No, I don't like agnostic. He's a prick. Get him out of here, man. Was his girlfriend in the Navy? I don't know about that, Heather. I don't know. I would believe she was in the Navy more than him. I would believe that. Because there are a lot of women do join the Navy and stuff. But who knows? Yeah, he got thrown out for lying on his I don't know what you call it. Man in the Box just explained it. I will link his channel in the description. Hold on. Primo says definitely a fake DD212. If nothing comes up under the name and the name is correct, it's a fake. The only time you need a social security number if there's more than one person with that name. That's what I was thinking too. But like I said, give him the benefit of the doubt because, you know, like I don't know much. I can't prove this shit. I don't know much about. People could tell me anything with this military shit and I'm going to believe them. You know? They tried to compare you South Dakota. That's satire. There's a big difference from satire and making yourself. How was I making myself look good by saying under that? That's retarded. That's satire. 2 different things. I'm sorry, I don't believe he's 56. There's something wrong with that story. I don't know his age, man. It's just possible he didn't take care of himself. He is probably served in WW2. I was on the front lines on D-Day. I seen those Higgins boats coming. All right, I'll drop the link for you, Shy Hooker. And only Shy Hooker joined. He's a former Army dude. Or a Marine, one of them. I don't know. Helicopters he flew. Hold on a second. Aisle 5. We have a ripper down. I repeat, a ripper down. A sex abuser has fallen and he can't get up. Without a doubt. My friend who beats women with bull sticks lost his chin. He lost it. Yeah, I think he's pushing 70. He's pushing 70 pills in his mouth. Sometimes I talk like this, and I'm really slurry with all my words. And sometimes I
Start talking like this. And then I'm telling everybody, listen, I'm telling you, he doesn't know where the red boat is. The red boat was on the other side of the canal with Indiana Jones. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he needs love. And you say he's just a friend. And you say he's just a friend. Oh, Ripper, you lost your channel. IPI to phone. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I could give it all I care about is the funny stuff they say on YouTube. Hey, Sasquatch, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? How's it going, brother? God bless you in the Dirkleverse. I'll be doing a stream over there this week. I got to stop over and see you. What's up, Mob? The funniest part that people pretended to believe him. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Grace Mount Rushmore. Oh, come on, David. You didn't believe that?
It's Bonnie Google with the googly eyes. It's Bonnie Percocet with the.
He sounds like an Ozzy Osbourne record played backwards.
Percocet.
Fucking character. What's up, Westies? Yeah, it would be funny, but I'm just into like the YouTube shit. Feel betrayed. Yes, I don't have 3 pupils. I did have 2 Dobermans in the beginning, but then I gave Caesar back to my friend who got out of jail. Big Elton John shades on him. On who? The Elton John shades.
Going down the yellow brick road.
You told stories like a candle in the wind. No, I am not from South Dakota. I am from North Dakota, Little Ireland. Okay? Yeah, take your time. 10 years ago was never the same.
I got a head injury. My head. Those 75 stitches I showed you through my hat, where you guys needed your Superman vision to see through my hat. They're not really there. They're on my ass from when I went to Florida.
Olympus Way.
Hello.
Hello. Magical fingers. He looks too much the Brett the Hitman, huh? I'm surprised he didn't say he was a wrestler or something. Oh, man. I get fired Cash App. He does an entire 8-hour chat and full of clown makeup. Yeah, that's crazy. 800 staples and neck and head. Fucking sick. What's up, XX? What's going on? You know, I tried to message Tanya on my old Facebook, MRE Facebook. I wonder if she's all right or not. I haven't heard from them in years. Poodle power. Twinkle, twinkle, little fingers. I don't know how the Ripper lost it, but all I know is aisle 5, we have a Ripper down in aisle 5. We have a Ripper down. I climb up, screw scramble head attached. That vinyl I needed for my lulls. I have 500. You know, go ask him. He might do it. It's possible. There was no cutlass. No. Yeah, Tanya was funny. Those Jimmy Cheeks stories were hilarious, dude. And then Jimmy Cheeks, and I told Jimmy Cheeks. Her voice was, her accent was hilarious. Then I told Jimmy Cheeks, no. I can't do the voice, but it was funny. that night was real funny. It was me, Paps, and her on the stream, and she was telling us the Gigi Gorgeous stories. They were friggin' funny, man. Real funny. I guess he did. I guess he lost his channels. I don't know how. Probably from stalking Josie, I'm guessing. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe someone. Listen, if you do a bunch of streams and you're putting up people's children, people flag them streams, even if he takes them down, maybe it caught up with him. I don't know. Maybe he took his own channels down. That's very possible. He could have took his own channels down. Who knows? Yeah, that was a funny stream, man. I'll be back. So we must check DNA and fingerprints. I was all right, Uncle Edwin. What's up, Roscoe? He sends what? Statements, mercenaries to take Pizza's channel down? Like, doesn't Pizza got like 5 channels because he loses one every time he does a stream? A few weeks ago, I thought he had none. Think he'd hide them over the court. Okay, that's possible too. Who knows? Oh, he told people he was taking it down. Well, maybe he was taking it down because he was scared that they would come and check his stuff up. Who knows? What's up, Shy Hooker?
What's up, brother?
How's it going, man?
Always chilling, man. Always chilling. Oh, hey, man, I took that information from that 214 that he put up, and
Yeah.
I resubmitted it to the archives, right? Because he had a little bit more information on there, and I got this back the same bullshit that like he didn't even serve. But the only thing I could think of is that he, if you do not serve at least 90 days, there is no benefits whatsoever that you are allowed, that you're eligible for it whatsoever.
All right, but let's say he was, all right, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And let's say he was in boot camp for 2 weeks and got kicked out for lying. Would there be like, he wouldn't get no benefits, or would they even like consider him in the Navy? Maybe that's why nobody could find the guy.
Well, see, that's the thing that I was confused about, because I mean, he's coming up with these, and I don't understand why somebody would fake. If you look on that DDT 14 where it says that, when it's down there on the very right where it says RE-4, that's basically a reenlistment code, right? And that's the worst reenlistment code you can have. It's basically you get kicked out, and in order to come back in, you like normally you would need a waiver for like a 2 or a 3, but on a 4 it's a non-waiverable offense. So if he is trying to fake it, I don't understand why he would fake that. But at the same time, like I said, I put in all the information in our 2 archives, and I got the email back today. And as soon as I got it, I posted it on my community page.
Oh, did you? And what? And what did it say? What's up, Red Eye Patriot? And what did it say? Hold on, let me go to your channel to show it.
Yeah.
What did it say, basically?
It literally says the same exact thing that one that Rob Rosso had, the one that Man in the Box had. It's the same exact ones.
So why wouldn't it be up there? Maybe because he did get thrown out. Maybe that's why it's not up there. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, even though it's almost impossible. But
well, see, the only way I could think of is if it was before 1985. But on the paperwork, it's October 17th or some shit, like in 1987. So it should be coming up no matter what.
So that's odd that it's not coming up.
Right.
It's probably faked.
Yeah, and that was another thing. That lawyer coming on, what he said he had one. Who gives a shit? He could. You know how easy it is to fake these DD214s? People have been doing it for years now, getting all these jobs and shit. I mean, look at all
that's why Stolen Valor popped up, because of people like that.
Exactly. And not for nothing, but it wasn't even his service that was questioned for this shit to even be happening. The whole thing was questioned because of this bullshit story about joining the Navy to fight some Army guy because the Navy hasn't won some boxing match bullshit. And you had some mean black son of a bitch as a judge that said that you had to, you either do 4 months in Rikers Island or you do 2 months in the Navy. First off, a minimum enlistment, like even they just changed it not too long ago. Well, hell, back in when I was in, they changed it to the minimum enlistment was 2 years. And, but even back then for him, the minimum enlistment would be, 3 years. Yeah, I had to block out my information because they were actually
I'll read this right here. After last night, I used the exact same info Tranbo posted on his real DD214. I've seen fake ones before, and they aren't hard to do, but literally just got this back from NPRC in my email. Veteran's name, Lilo Anthony, blah, blah, blah. You're saying, thank you for contacting the National Persons Record Center. Unfortunately, based on the limited information you provided with your request, we have been unable to identify a military service record for this individual. If you are able to provide additional information, including the individual's complete name at the time and military service number, if applicable, social security number, branch of service, or approximate dates of service time, we will perform another search for individual's military service record. If you have any questions or comments regarding this response, you may contact us as blah, 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 by email address showing the letter above. If you contact us, please reference the real request number listed above. If you are a veteran or deceased veteran's next of kin, please consider submitting your future request online by visiting online.com bullshitters. Blah,
and here's
blah, 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 blah. And let me share your channel now.
Yeah.
Here's
now when I put that information in, right? Okay, on that
yeah.
DD2 that he showed, it shows the exact date that he joined, right? It says the 10th month, 17th day of 1987 on that DD214 that he posted. That's the exact date that I put it on that archives page for anybody with this name coming out of New York that entered service in the whole month of October, and the service couldn't have last longer couldn't have been longer than December of 87. Now they have all records from 85 up, and that's the whole thing that was kept on confusing me, because I mean, even if that DD214 is real, I mean, it's a terrible one, first off. And if it's fake, then he faked somebody's worst fucking 214 you could ever get. I mean, it's like the shittiest one you could ever get ever. Like, it's
How long does it take? How long does it take for them to come back to you?
I put that last night. Remember, I was literally driving.
No, I mean for him to get his to get that paperwork. How long does that take for him to order that?
Oh, you get it back in 12 hours. I got his paperwork. I got that letter back, and I sent it off last night at probably 9 o'clock at night, and I got it today at what time does that say on my screenshot? 3:40.
Yeah.
That's how long it took. It
took him how many days to produce it? 4 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah, it said something. It said that because what I also did, whenever they posted after that DD214, they posted the other page where they did the request number for that information, right? And I typed that number in for an existing claim, check on the status, and they got a status report for that back on the 17th for that request number. So he's been sitting on it for I don't know how many days, and he just came up with that DD214 yesterday.
I think of the day before. I'm not sure.
Right, whatever day, but still, I mean, they got it. That request was sent back, and it was whatever. I tried to pull up the letter, but whenever you register it, you have to register with your email address, your full name, your address, all that other stuff.
Well, Agnostic says, serious question for Shy Hooker. Wouldn't he, if true, have a dishonorable discharge?
Well, see, that's the thing. If he would have to actually have some kind of service, okay? And it could be a dishonorable discharge with that type of RE4 that he had on that reenlistment code. That's a bad reenlistment code. So, the dishonorable, that's that I'm not going to speak on because it could be a general since he didn't spend, shit in. He didn't spend hardly any time in whatsoever. So, he had no, honorable, dishonorable, whatever service unless he did some fucked up shit while he was in. But if you're just lying on his, right, it's neither honorable or dishonorable. Right, it'd be a general. So it's basically like, you came in, but I'm sure next he'll say, he boxed his drill sergeant or some shit and knocked him out, kicked him out.
Ever see the movie Officer and a Gentleman?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I fought Lee Gossip Jr., man. I was whipping his ass, and then I took Deborah Winger on, and you know what I mean?
And then
we got married.
It wasn't just that. It was the, I really loved him shaking his shoulders and shit. Hey, Kane Shades, big black guy I knocked out twice in your area. Kimbo sliced twice. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Now, that's what really started it. It started it for me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, he switched it up to then he fought him, then he sparred him. That's all bullshit.
No,
Even with the judge, the whole story was that he got arrested. He was looking at 4 months in Rikers, but the judge said, you know what? He was a military judge, a Navy guy, and he wanted to beat the Army because they haven't beat the Army in over 22 years. So he said to him, hey, you box? And he's like, yeah, what do you mean I box? And he sent him off there, and he sent him from Chicago to San Diego. It's all bullshit. Like I said, now, is that DDT wrong or whatever? Maybe he was in there for 2 weeks and they threw him out for lying.
Right.
To me, that's still stolen valor.
Right. Well, see, that's another thing too. It's just like that Michael Hensley fuck. Remember how he was up here trying to, he was super soldier Marine.
Yeah.
He had that E3 rank on there from like 30 years ago or some shit. And he was trying to get all these thanks and stuff like that. And he spent like a year in Japan being a truck driver. And he was trying to claim that he was a combat vet and all this other bullshit. And whenever he just sat there and was just a delivery driver for the supply sergeant in Japan for a year. And then his ass got booted. And whenever he came up on leash.
That is stolen valor. Let's say that if I was really in the Army, but all I did was drive a truck, right? And I'm telling people I was in combat and I took bullets and I was ducking bullets and sort of like Tig, you know what I mean? Like I was holding Marines. That's still stolen valor,
Right. And see that lawyer's definition last night, which is technically true. Everybody just says stolen valor because that's just an easy way to put it in a category, And technically, what that lawyer was saying, because he didn't try to gain anything of if he was lying, well, technically he is. He's sitting here lying about his bullshit on Angel's show and then getting everybody to come to his show so he can make money off of his show.
Yes, he is trying to gain off of it by telling you that you're earning respect for him because he served you. He is gaining off of it, and if people can't see that, they're fucking stupid.
Hey, Kathy, no, the judge wouldn't have given him military jail. No, the only time you can have military jail is when you're actually enlisted. He can't go in front of a civilian judge and just be like, hey, you can either do this Rikers bullshit. And then, first off, in order for you to join to do an event like that and then just join for 2 months, that's illegal, number one. It's illegal for any branch. And it's illegal for any judge to order you to do that. The only other time a judge might give you a break is if you let them know on your, like if you get in trouble or whatever before, and you can just tell them, look, I'm about to join the military. Is there any way you can, hold this off, go easy on me, and let me go ahead and join the military so I can join with a clean slate? at the same time, you're joining the military for, you know, at least that 2 to 6 year enlistment on your first enlistment. What was
Yeah,
that?
so it don't make sense.
Yeah. What was that? 8 coats or something that just came?
They just said 8 pea coats for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Well, when he said that, he said they dropped him off in Chicago and it was so cold, but he had 8 pea coats. It's like if they were throwing you out, would they just dump somebody off in Chicago like that? It makes no sense.
They actually send you right back to your home of record. So that whatever you always have on your paperwork where you were born, your home of record, basically where you joined at, and then so that way whenever you're trying to get out, you don't try to say, oh, my home of record is in Hawaii and here you are in Virginia or some shit, and you get this big ass check for moving, you know, because they actually pay for your moving expenses. Whenever you get out, they cut you that check for you to move back to your home state or wherever you're from. And
He said they dropped him off in Chicago, like, because they were so mad that he went with the admiral's daughter, but the admiral still let him fight, and he knocked the guy out, of course, but still let him fight. But after the fight, the admiral and them were like, "Nope, we hate you. You're out of here. Yeah, we're dropping you off in a cold Chicago."
Now that's probably true that they from Great Lakes, Illinois, they dropped him off in Chicago at the bus station, so his ass can get right back on the bus, right back to New York.
Gotcha.
That's the only reason why he would be in Chicago. But I mean, that's where that little bit of truth bullshit comes in. But
Yeah, there's always a little bit of truth to something.
Yeah, that it wasn't it wasn't nothing like. Yeah, exactly, Queen.
What did you think about the Man in the Box video?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with them 100%. That's what I was. Me and him actually had a conversation about that in the comments. I was, you know, because he got the same exact thing that I got back. You know, whenever he did the same exact thing that I did, and when he got the same letter that I did back.
And would there be any reason for it not to pop up for you guys? Like, would there be any reason for this not to pop up?
Well, that's the thing. That's the reason why I was so stumped about it. Because it's, you know, it's, again, you know, from 1985 up, that's where you get your records. Okay. Anything further than that, it would have to come from the actual, it's in St. Louis. It's the actual hard copies, right? But 85 and up, you can look that shit up at nprc.gov, and it's you know, it's just, I mean, it's just there, which that's what kept on getting me. You know, if he only spent 2 weeks in the Navy, it should still pop up that he spent 2 weeks in the Navy.
All right, so like you said, even if he spent, let's say, 3 days in the Navy, say it would still pop up.
Exactly.
Yes, I think he faked the papers. I'm going to go, folks, I'm going to have to be a little crazy here and go out on a limb and say he faked them.
And that's another, whoever he faked them from, I mean, they're a real piece of shit, because that DD-214 is for a real shitbag. You know, even tried to block that shit out. If you, like, again, like I said, when we're on that bottom right where it said RE-4, that's a re-enlistment code.
Really?
Yeah. And that re-enlistment code is basically like saying, okay, even if you get kicked out because you can't conform, you'll get like a RE2, right? It's basically like you can come back in, but you have to have a waiver. And, you know, basically, you go see a recruiter, make sure that you can actually do push-ups, you can actually run, you can actually do your sit-ups, you can actually pass a damn PT test. But, you know, again, I mean,
Jesse said, what was that stuff blocked out?
That was his actual discharge for, you know, it could be a general, dishonorable, honorable, which 100%, there's no way it was an honorable. Nobody's getting an honorable for getting out early from your first enlistment, ever.
Why did he block it out, you think? Because he was embarrassed? It said dishonorable?
Well, it could have said general under honorable conditions. It could have said general under dishonorable conditions. It could have said other than honorable. and it could have said dishonorable. Now, when it comes to those things, like it was like a dishonorable, he would never ever be able to he would never be allowed on post. So I don't think that that's the case if he's going to the VA with his wife. You know,
So would he be able to go to the VA if he was only in there for 2 weeks and got thrown out of boot camp for lying? Would he be able to go to the VA?
Absolutely not. Again, you have to have at least 90 days in service to have any kind of benefits whatsoever. You have to have at least 90 days. So if he was actually in for 90 days, say he was in, for, boot camp or whatever, and then he started his school, and, he was in for 91 days, right? And he fell and broke his back or some shit, right? Then he would be able to get benefits through the VA like that. But
he's saying he goes to the VA.
Yeah, he said that last night. He said
he's lying.
Right.
See, when you lie, you just keep lying, and people will get you, pal.
Yeah, he actually named the road that the VA was on and all this other bullshit.
Oh, so he's digging a wonderful hole for himself, isn't he?
Yeah, he said that he was at the VA yesterday, and I was just at the VA earlier today, blah, 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 but it wasn't for his motherfucking ass. I'll tell you that right now. It was for maybe his wife.
All right, maybe the girl was in the Navy and she goes to the VA, but there's no way he's going to Vaginas Anonymous. Maybe, yeah, that might be it. There's no way he's going to the VA.
1,
and I guarantee he downloaded that, like Richie said, he downloaded the thing. I guarantee it because I went to the VA. You, like you said, you wouldn't be going to the VA. You know, like Aegon or another veteran like yourself, you can't lie about being a VA patient. VA gives you a VA ID card. Does he have a ID card? Why didn't he show that?
That's true too. Now, if his wife retired from if she actually retired, like say if she got a medical retirement, or if she got or if she actually spent 20 years in or whatever and gets an actual retirement from the Navy, then him being her husband, he would get a dependent ID card.
Oh, okay.
Now those are a different. Those actually look different than what they have now. Now they have what are called CAT cards. It's got a computer chip in them, and it gives your name, rank, date of birth, all that good jazz. But like on your dependent card, it won't have your information. It'll have who you're a dependent of information on there. Like it'll have his wife's info saying her rank with her service and all that other good stuff. So, and her social, not his social.
Gotcha. So that's why he probably didn't show none of that. Yeah, she's definitely in on it. There's women that will help their husbands traffic women, help kill women. So you don't think a woman's going to help him lie? Of course.
Right. I mean,
and they've been flagging my transbo videos so hard. Hey, listen, if you didn't care about it, why would you go flag it?
Dude, that's too, man. I mean, it wasn't. I'll tell you what was disappointing for me was whenever, it wasn't until everybody was asking Angel, oh, by the way, I got blocked off her channel today by letting her know, hey, I'm not here to start any shit. I was just letting you know I went into archives with that same info, and I posted it on my community tab. And first thing she said, oh, I see shy hookers here to start some trouble.
You big troublemaker, you.
Yeah, but anyway, it was just disappointing whenever she said, well, for everybody who don't have money, because he's talking about how much money he has and all this other bullshit. For everybody who don't have money and the very big, generous donations that him and his wife give to my Cash App, I was like, see, now that shit right there, that's exactly the reason why you're sitting there backing his motherfucking ass. I wonder what the Cash App was to back him on this bullshit.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
Yeah.
He's full of shit, and they'll just back him out of emotions.
Right. And see, when somebody's doing stuff like that, there's always a reason for it. It's not just because they're doing it just out of it's not just to, just to be cool or whatever. There's always a reason for why they're doing it. It's in order to gain something. And
Just like Tig, just like Chicago Muscle. He was, he built this whole thing. He was a Marine, held dead Marines in his hands. He was eventually going to stop grifting, but he was doing the slow grift. He was on the slow grift, stick around for a while, act like a white knight, and then go for the money. But his channel imploded. I burnt down your clubhouse, Tig, before he could go for the grift. Transbo's going for the grift immediately.
Right. And he's pulling all this bullshit with it's just going to be a boxing channel. No, it's going to be a boxing channel, and then let me slide off on here and let me talk shit to all you, everybody else that was going after me for calling me out on my bullshit. And then he got Angel there sitting there like a little pit bull attacking everybody that's actually questioning his bullshit.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with her. Like, she should have just stayed out of it. And like, people have the right to question him. He lied to Kane Shades and told him he was Vinny Matalone. Is that a lie? Oh no, he's like, they've conceded that he's lied. He's only embellished a little.
Right.
Well, that's lying.
Yeah. Yeah. No matter, like I said, I mean, there's a reason why he's doing it. He just hasn't let it out yet.
Well, for the money. He's doing it for the money. A little bit of the ego, but it's for the money. Exactly. Him and his wife came out here. They tried to join the boxing show. That didn't turn out. Then he came over here, and it's all a way to grift, man. Make money off lies, too.
No doubt. Like I said, that was the biggest disappointment, was that Angel bullshit with for all you people that don't have money, that donate to the Cash App, let me tell you how much money he does have with all the generous donations that they.
And he's buying his way in. That's what he's doing, And then it comes all about the money, not the truth. That's a bad look right there.
Exactly.
It's just like, it lets you know. So I'm more important if I donate more money, right? I'm important if I donate money.
Yeah, he went from a nobody to being on Angel's little.
But he's a local, though. That's what he doesn't get, and that's what they all don't get. Is he is a local. Nope. That's it. He's not going to have a boxing channel. Nobody's going to go. No, this ain't a boxing sports community. Number one, nobody's going to watch that. All he's going to do is have a knitting circle, a Golden Girls club every night on there talking shit. That's it.
Echo chamber.
Yeah, pure echo hug box. A little hug box echo chamber.
Exactly. Yeah, but
no embarrassment too. Like, I don't care if somebody said, hey, you can make a bunch of money going on YouTube lying about that you were an army guy. I got to sleep at night. I'm not telling people I was a Marine or I fought in an army or in a war. Yeah. I'm not doing that. That's disgusting. I feel like the biggest loser. I got my grandfather's picture up over here when he fought in the Pacific Theater. Like, that's just disgusting, man.
Yeah, I was in Afghanistan twice and Iraq twice. I was in Camp Anaconda twice, and from 2 different deployments. And I was in Kandahar, Afghanistan, and in Bagram, Afghanistan.
Now, he's never talked about none of that. Like, he doesn't. I bet you he don't even know the ranks, or I don't know the ranks neither. But I was never in the friggin' Navy. He don't know the ranks or nothing like that. Well, he was only in there for 2 weeks, but still.
Right. Like, yeah. And it said that he was on his rank. It said that he was an E3. That's what I don't see how he got that E3.
What's an E3?
Well, in the Navy, I don't know what it would be, but in the Army, it would be an Army private first class. But now, in order to join a branch of service with with an E2 or E3 rank, there's a couple of ways you can do it. Like how I did it, I joined as an E3, but I also spent 4 years in junior ROTC, and that was in high school, and and then you can join as an E3 in the Army.
All right. So what rank, or him being in there for 2 weeks boot camp, what rank would he have been?
He would have been an E1. he won. Especially if he didn't have ROTC experience when he was in high school, or I mean, he could have joined as an E2 if he was able to pass a PT test or ace a PT test before you go in. That's another way you can do it. But E3, I don't see how he could automatically do that. So that's
So
another.
in your hypothesis, do you think that the paperwork is totally false? I believe that.
I personally, I do. Of course, like I said, if it was real, that shit would have came right back saying, I wouldn't have got the actual DD214, but they would have actually said that they found it, and they would have said that he was his service dates and all this other jazz. They wouldn't have had his social on there, or
All right, for devil's advocate, all right, have you ever looked up anybody else and they didn't come up, and then you found out that they were telling the truth?
no, no. No. I mean, it's funny. I'm on there. My friends are on there. That.
But not him. But not Tranbo. Not the Tysons, pal.
It's.
Well, look at his whole story. Like we talked about earlier about going. We've talked about many times about going there. It's just like, yeah, he's just a liar.
Right. Yeah. Just crazy.
How long would it take him to fake that little document or whatever? A couple days to do all that stuff?
For like 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. All he'd have to do is just download the format, and then he would, look up somebody else's, DD214. That's somebody that posted it on there. They have examples of fake ones. You do a Google search, and you can find fake ones all day long. And Don Shipley points that shit out. That's how he gets a bunch of calls, because he has examples of fake DD214s on there, and people call him all the time trying to get him to help them make a fake DD214.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I personally think it's all bullshit. I think it's faked. I give him the benefit of the doubt and say he got thrown out or whatever, but I still think it's faked.
I do too.
Because nothing's adding up, like you're saying. None of the things don't make sense.
Right.
And the guy's a complete bullshitter.
Mm-hmm.
And it is stolen valor. And if I don't know who that lawyer is. That the guy who looks like Anton LaVey, the Church of Satan? That guy, he used to watch my channel. What does he have to gain? He is gaining off of just by saying you're in the military. People have respect for you. They're gonna believe you more. Shit like that. And He is gaining off. He's got a channel with cash apps up and dreams of him and his wife starting a channel. They were millionaires and they owned all these businesses like they say they did. They wouldn't have the time to be on YouTube all night and day.
I agree 100%.
It's all bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Assassinino put out something funny. It was the agnostic little mini movie with him. That was funny.
Yeah, I liked it too. I enjoyed that one too. I enjoy all that Assassinino stuff, man. He's pretty good on there.
Yeah, he's one of the best out here with everybody. He's good people. But imagine not even being embarrassed of the shit. That's how you know this guy's just stone cold liar to the bone.
Exactly. I mean, this guy is standing bullshit. He's like standing on it, and it's like he thinks that because everybody is looking up all these requests that he's going to get people in trouble. It's called a Freedom of Information Act, Dunsky. It's like, obviously, I'm sure he would never even came out with this fucking story if he would have known that to begin with. If he would have known that this shit is easily verifiable, if it was that easy to verify his bullshit, I guarantee you he would have never opened his fucking lying ass up and just came out with it to begin with.
Yeah, he probably would have said, let me make up some other lie. Let me stick to the karates and the bucks and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, he says Naval takes malicious records and meticulous with their records.
Oh, they all are. They all are. And, not only are they kept on they have this, like I said, they've downloaded everything from 1985 where it's easily verifiable on the computer where you just type some shit in. Now, I'm sure here in a few years it'll be further back from 85 back. But see, in 85 is whenever they switched from service numbers to Social Security numbers. So where like
What years was he in there that he's saying?
it said October 17th of 87 is whenever he joined. So his paperwork should be in that. I should have got a letter back with his information saying that he was in, and he was only in for 17 days or wherever the hell it was. They would have at least verified it. So there was no verification whatsoever.
No, makes no. How can nobody find this stuff? He comes up with this weird paperwork that don't even make too much sense. Is that what you're saying? The E2s and all that shit.
Right.
And is there anything that he can show that could prove that he was? What could he show that proved that he's not lying?
Well, I mean, he said he was at the VA all day. Have him show his VA card. It's impossible for anyone that has served less than 90 days to get any benefits whatsoever. It doesn't matter.
All right, so he should, no matter what, have that VA card. And he says his name so he could show it. You know what I mean? So it's nothing like I can't show my VA card.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, okay. Then put it. You can put his thumb over his name, and that on your VA card it doesn't even show that much information, anyways. You have a okay, my bad, Primo. But anyway, but on the VA card, you just have a picture. And hang on, let me pull my shit out. I'll tell you exactly what everything.
But he don't have to hide his name because he already shows his name, so he could just show the card. You know, he would have just done that in the beginning. He would have went all through this friggin' thing, got this fake DD12.
Right, but I'm sure he'll try to pull out that damn dependent ID card and try to say that that's his VA card. You know what I mean?
But it's not. It's a dependent one because of the wife.
Exactly. Hang on, I'm about to pull up my cards. Tell you exactly everything that's on it. And there's a VA seal on there. You got your picture on the top right. It'll have it's got like a member ID, which is basically like an insurance card, an insurance number. And it'll have like a plan ID number right underneath that. And then at the member, it'll have your name, and it's got a barcode. And in the middle, it'll have a like what branch you're in. Like it'll have either a Navy sign, Marine sign, or Army sign. Like mine has the U.S. Army, and then the gold star with the black outline. That's what mine has on there.
So he would have just showed that right from the beginning. If he was the real deal, was in the Navy, even if he did get kicked out of boot camp in 2 weeks. But you said he wouldn't have that card if he was kicked out of boot camp.
Exactly.
So yeah, none of his story makes sense. Transbo, what are you doing?
That's what I was trying to, it's kind of hard to explain shit when you're sitting there typing it, you know what I mean? Like in the comments, and then only reading every other one. And then get blocked for trying to say some shit with like, hey, here it is.
Especially when you're a veteran and like you have the right to say this. He's stealing your valor.
Right, but I'm in there trying to start some shit, so I was like, okay. So, but yeah, again, he like especially I knew right when he said, oh, well, I spent the all day on whatever boulevard at the VA all morning this morning. I knew he was full of shit right then and there. It was like a triple slap. Like,
really?
Yeah.
So you knew it right then that it was 100% fake.
Right. Now, because like again, there is no benefits whatsoever with anything 90 days or less. Yeah, I agree. I think Ramondia has a little bit more truth than this motherfucker.
Yeah, this guy's he's a con man. Total fraud con man.
And,
yeah.
And anybody can look up that information. So like if anybody else tries to say that, I was in the military or this or that. Anybody can go on to the NPRC website. No,
Yeah, read that from Transbo's Playhouse.
no. The paperwork said he was discharged. Hang on, I got it printed off right. Hang on a second.
Lester Diamond. How'd you toss him out? No one said he thinks it said 87. I didn't see the year. Because I don't, like I said, people could fool me with anything like that. I don't know about the military stuff. So somebody come on here and totally bullshit me. I don't know. But I do know all these other guys looking it up and not popping up with these real military guys who are in the chat and on the channel that are telling me, yeah, it's Fugazi. Without a doubt. Totally Fugazi. What's up, JA? No, I streamed Justice Tech Pros episode, and we've just been bullshitting up here.
Yeah. Yeah, I just yeah, I took whenever they were showing all every bit of that, I was like snap, snap, snap. And then all that information that was on that DD-214, that is exactly the information that I used and typed in to the archives website. And then that's the response I got was,
yeah. So it's not true then. If you typed it in, man in the box typed it in, everybody typed it in. What's up, just chilling? It's bullshit. You know,
exactly.
It's bullshit. It's like show your friggin' VA card then, because none of it makes sense. Number one,
of course, now they're going to be saying, "Well, all you're doing is just moving the goalposts. You keep moving the goalposts." Well, no, most people don't understand what the hell they're looking at to begin with. You know, he could have just said, "Oh, well, look, this is my Medal of Honor certificate," and you'll see. And the only way you're going to be able to tell is that he misspelled medal or some shit. You know, but people do it every day to get these jobs, and back in the day it was pretty easy to fool the VA to get benefits, but once that Stolen Valor Act came out and had the FBI,
when did that come out? When did the Stolen Valor Act come out?
First one came out in 2005, but then it became unconstitutional. So they had to add in a bunch of shit like because you couldn't just say that you were doing something because they used it as freedom of speech. So they redid it in 2017 to include that if you are trying to gain anything, like if you say that you were this or that and you put it on a job application, so whenever it's like you're trying to get something for lying about someone else's service or false service, Well,
look how many people Shimply and them guys caught. There was dudes in Louisiana that were getting free drinks, all this stuff, picking up girls and all this shit, using their fake Navy SEAL bullshit. The funniest one I've seen is when he went down and busted that black dude who was like a fake biker, the fake biker in Louisiana, who was chilling out in the French Quarter all the time, just grabbing free drinks and free meals.
Yeah, Lovers Angels or some shit. They called him Clubber Lang.
Yes, when they went, what was the best is when he went to his work where he worked on. Yeah, he was working on Harley Davidsons. He went to his workshop, and you could see how scared that dude was. That he knew he was caught.
Oh yeah, dude was trying to kick him out as fast as he could, being real polite that time, wasn't he?
Yes, he was very polite. He wasn't the first time. He was very cocky with them when they first pulled up on him.
Oh yeah,
very cocky.
See, most of it is because a lot of these big guys like that, they intimidate people into basically not questioning them. There was another guy
true. He was huge. The guy was a monster. He looked like Clubber Lang, the dude.
Exactly.
He was this big 6 foot something frig black bastard. He was huge. He had big arms. He was a monster. Yeah. So people probably thought, this guy was a real Navy SEAL. Look, he's a monster.
Exactly. There's another one. A YouTuber got busted. I think his name was silverback gorilla or some shit. And he was a real big black guy, man. And he kept getting called out for his gang activity that he was claiming, which just and then he was claiming he was a Navy SEAL, and then he's saying that it was it was just all kinds of it was all it was just blatantly obvious. But dude had a good run, and then I think it was the Guardians of the Green Berets or something busted him. Made him, OG Silverback. That's what.
Let me tell you, you're gonna have a lot of, and I wouldn't call it balls. I don't know what you would call it. You got a lot of gall, man, to fucking go on and LARP and act like you were some military guy and all that shit. Like, man, these people are shameless, dude. Fucking shameless.
The easiest ones to point out are the ones that's never been in, like, whatsoever. And they
but most of them, like you said, most of them did serve. Like that guy, the silverback dude, he was in the Navy. The Louisiana black dude, he was in the Navy, but he just was never a Navy SEAL. And that's what most of them do. They take that little bit of truth that they did serve and add on some kind of crazy story to it.
Exactly. It was just like that Hensley fucker that I exposed. He ain't been around here not too much lately either.
Oh, Michael Hensley, yeah, he pays. He was the one paying the Ripper to look up people's families and dox people. Like he's got family members that are literally COs, married to COs and shit. He's a scumbag.
Yeah, that, like I said, that was the first one that I had exposed on in this genre, basically.
The only one that was telling the truth was the medical combat guy.
Yeah,
combat. Yeah, he was telling the truth.
Right, but that guy was so damn disappointing too, man. You see that making ceremony bullshit on that?
Yeah, he was another fucking clown. He ran away. He's like, "You're an evil Nazi. I'm not coming around here no more." Yeah, he ran away like a clown.
Oh.
So another one saying Hensley isn't a veteran, so we might have Stolen Valor Michael Hensley too.
No, Hensley, yeah, he's a veteran. He's just not a combat veteran.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Even like I said, even if let's say Tranbo did do the 2 weeks and got thrown out for lying, it's still Stolen Valor. I don't care if you served for the Navy. You weren't you didn't box for the Navy. That's bullshit. Right. It's Stolen Valor.
Yeah, and there's nobody. First off, they're not going to make you stop your basic training to do a damn thing. First off, every single person has to go through basic, no matter what. That is.
Well, not him. He said that as soon as the judge knew he was a boxer, because the judge was a Navy guy, they needed him to go fight. So he would have had to go basic training before he could box that guy.
Exactly. He would have to go through basic training and then go through his schooling. So, in the Army, they call it AIT, Advanced Individual Training. But whenever in the Navy has some other code, I forget what it's called. But anyway, you basically learn the job that you're going to do while you're in the service, right? You go through basic, then you go through your school, and then they put you to your first unit. Now, whenever he got to his first unit, he could have put in, for whatever they're doing with all that, he could have joined the boxing team, whatever. They got guys that join the sniper competitions, and they got, they have the
but
best.
That's not from court. It's not from court, and a judge saying that though. That's not. And how would the judge even know that about him, that he was a boxer? He's never professionally boxed or nothing. So how would he even? None of it makes sense. This guy is so full of crap.
Remember, in that courtroom, there was thousands of people in there too. Well, yeah, that was another thing.
Well, he said 700 then. Then he changed it to 700.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah, guys, just non-stop, non-fucking stop, man. And it's just aggravating. And then his little tough guy act like where him and Lee would be walking on one side of the road, and then guarantee you anybody that sees him will be crossing the street.
Yeah, two seniors. Yeah, watch out for the two seniors right there.
Exactly.
Give the tough guy act up. Number one, Paps, you back down for a Monday. You wouldn't even sit next to that guy. Right. Silo's made a million threats and a million lies trying to get people to fight. A bunch of hollow threats. These people are stupid. And when you got to come on YouTube and threaten to fight people, it just shows how mentally weak you are and how your stories are bullshit.
Oh, I'd love to meet any one of those guys, but but hell, Silo's so damn old. I'd actually feel, but I'm 6'5" and I weigh 230 pounds. Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be.
who's gonna want to fight some bunch of old dudes with friggin' plates in their necks and like Paps is 63 years old? Who the hell's gonna go fight an old guy? It makes no sense.
But for them to say that anybody would be afraid of them, it's just fucking comical.
Yeah, it purely is comical, dude,
Yeah.
and real sick.
Yeah.
But thanks. I'm gonna shut this down. Thank you for coming on and shit. I appreciate it. Thank you for your service.
No problem, man. Yeah, I'll give you a call here next day or two.
All right, brother. God bless you.
You too.
Bye. Yeah, folks. Thanks for coming on. Go watch Convict Inc. He just went live. I didn't want this to go too long. I just wanted to play JTP's episode and just have a few laughs on SV Boy. But have a great one, everyone. God bless you all. Later this week, I'll stream that Cropsy video, and then after I stream it, I'll do an episode where I just have people come on and talk about it. People who live in that. I think Agnostic lives in that area and knew some shit about it. So I'll stream the episode, and we'll watch it, and then maybe that night or a day after, we'll come on and talk about it. But God bless everyone. Thank you, Facts of the Field. Make sure you guys hashtag the We Push Back. Check out the We Push Back website. I'm going to go put these channels I use in the link in the description. Later.